everyone. Welcome to the Play Choices Podcast, the podcast you hear. I'm your host, V.
Hi, I'm the co-host Lucas.
So, we're going to spend this episode discussing chapters 1 through 2 of Choice's latest release called Laws of Attraction. This episode is not spoiler safe, so if you want to avoid spoilers for Laws of Attraction chapters 1 through 2, please read those chapters first, and we will be here for you to come back and listen. I think it's just because it's late at night. My brain is like, what are we doing?
Yeah, no, literally, my heart's beating so fucking fast. Like, I'm like, what? Like, you've recorded an episode before. What's the issue?
Right. No, I'm sitting here. I'm like, wait, what do I do next? I'm like, can't remember.
Before we get into this new story that Choices has provided for us, we just want to let you know that if you are interested in sponsoring us or sending us some compensation for all the fucking hours that we done the episode.
Can you say that less bitter? You sounded so fucking angry. Yo, I feel like Lucas is smoking.
Yeah.
He's not actually angry. I think it's 10 p.m. right now when we're recording, so I think we're trying to overcompensate for the normal energy level that we would have.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what
So
it
we're
is.
not.
So, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
If our emotion seems more like a roller coaster of ups and downs between just apathy and over enthusiastic comments, that is why.
Okay, so what Lucas was trying to say in a very aggressive but loving way is
That's tough
we put a
love,
lot
baby.
of
That's tough love.
tough love. Well, you be bad cop, I'll be good cop. We do put a lot of hours into this podcast, so if you do want to provide some compensation directly to us, you can via Anchor. The URL is anchor.fm/play-choices-podcast/support. It will be in the description of the episode. If you can't do that, the next best thing is to tell your friend. This can be a friend that plays Choices, a friend that plays another visual novel app, or just someone who likes to laugh. Again, we go through all of the plot points in the episode itself, so you don't necessarily need to know what Choices is in order to listen. Like we're gonna make it an enjoyable experience regardless of what prior knowledge you have or not. So please share this podcast. If you're listening right now, share it on your IG, share it on your Twitter, share it on your Tumblr. I love seeing screenshots of people listening to the podcast. You can also follow us at Play Choices Podcast on both Instagram and Tumblr, and you can follow us at Play Choices Pod on Twitter. It's a very highly engaged audience, our listeners. They love to tweet at me. Some of us have gotten on such familiar territory that they make fun of me, which y'all get a little mean on there, okay? But I tolerate it because I love you. Okay. uh, we're gonna record a Q&A episode after this, Lucas. But some of the questions I have, they're a little shady because we talk to each other on Twitter, and let me tell some of my Twitter Eric. You be a little shady sometimes in your questions, but it's okay. I like him a lot. Me and him, we've chatted before. He's cool. On Instagram, we got an anonymous shout out. There's this, ooh, bitch. Hold on. I gotta pull up my Instagram. I gotta make sure I'm crediting people appropriately.
We like to state facts here.
Exactly. Okay, so it's choices_insta fandom on IG, and we got an anonymous shout out. And one of the things that they shouted us out for was, let me read it. They said, I would like to present a shout out post to the amazing page and work of Play Choices Podcast. There are a few pages that start and hit off with such a following so fast, but this one has managed to blow everyone away. I don't just love this page, I adore their creativity, their eagerness to get people involved, that part in particular, and their respect to other people's taste. I can't imagine this fandom without you. You're the best. I don't know who wrote that because it's all anonymous shout outs, but isn't that the sweetest fucking thing you've ever read in your life?
Yeah, that's made my jaw drop.
And then I also, this is, I believe, from the group of people who run the actual Instagram account. So the shout out is anonymous and from a different entity than the actual people who run the page. But they wrote in the description, we're huge fans of this account. Here's a few reasons why. We love seeing how they include and engage with all. They say what we're thinking. They keep things light and fun. They are very supportive. This is one to follow. So, y'all, we are known. Listen, I know how to take a compliment. I'm not a shy bitch who can't take a compliment. I can take a compliment. So we are literally known for engaging with people on social media. If you have a question for us, I promise you I'm gonna see it and I'm gonna respond. If you have a
Mm-hmm.
comment, I promise you I'm gonna like it, I'm gonna respond. That's what I'm known for. So go follow us on Instagram, Tumblr, and Twitter. Again, the actual handles are in the description of each episode. So guarantee you're gonna enjoy following us. Not only do we post content related to the actual like episode content, but we also post like little quizzes and stuff to get a discussion started. We usually do those probably, I think, almost every day. So it's really fun. You're going to want to join. We have a really great listener base, some really fucking funny people, especially on Twitter. Ooh, Twitter. They could be their own club, bro. Like,
Eric, again,
I
we're talking about you.
Eric. Okay, I don't know a lot of y'all's first names. I know Eric's first name, but a lot of y'all I don't know what nickname you like to go by, but there's a bunch of you that are fucking hilarious, but I just don't know what name you go by. So last thing I'll say, and then we'll get into the actual content of the chapters, is that you can always email us at playchoicespodcast@gmail.com. And there's a chance if you write in, we'll read your email live on the podcast. Let's just jump into laws of attraction. I mean, Lucas, this is one that you talked about forever. Like there's so many times in prior episodes where you were talking about how just excited you were for this.
And the excitement is still here. I love.
Oh.
We're really gonna get into it, but like, I love it. I really do. I love. Oh, there's just can we, guys? We just really about to get into this. We really
Okay,
are.
yeah. Lucas is getting hyped. I will say the first chapter because they released the first and second chapter on different days. So I played the first chapter on the same day it was released. We did a live tweet session about it. We had everyone join in. Can I also say our live like tweet thread that we had almost got the same number of replies as Choice's official tweet thread about it. So all I can say is again, our Twitter following going hard for us. Love y'all. But yeah, that's another reason to follow because we do interactive stuff like that as well. When I played the first chapter, like the first chapter was released on Tuesday and the second chapter was released on Wednesday. I'll be honest, the first chapter didn't really grab my attention that much, but the second chapter, that was a meaty little chapter. That
Yes,
has
yes.
some skin and bone to it, you know, has some flavor to it. So I can't hate, honestly. I was quite impressed when I was playing it. But yeah, let's just jump in. Let's go ahead, jump in. Chapter 1. Name of the chapter is Jury of Your Peers. The default MC's name is Quinn Michaels. That's how we're going to be referring to this character. The chapter summary says a surprise job offer takes you from your small town to New York's most prestigious firm. Can you handle the highest levels of law, and love? And then the genres are romance, lawyers, drama. Listen, it's an improvement. We're just gonna leave it at
It
that.
is. It is an improvement.
It's an
It is.
improvement. Yet again, they're using occupation as a genre, but I'm gonna let it go this time because I guess what's the only alternative? Law? That's only their alternative.
How dry, just in general, from a like artistic writing standpoint, how dry is the plot that you can only really use two descriptive words for it? Lawyer? Choices. Just come on, just do more. If all of y'all's books weren't damn pussy plots.
Oh. God, you've got a real fucking ruthless as we've gone on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
God, you sound just as bitter as the people who've been playing this app for 3 years.
Oh God.
I do feel like as far as genres, this is probably as good as we're gonna get. Like romance, lawyers, drama. This is probably like top tier genre creation. So I guess I'll hat off on meeting the bare minimum of my requirements for this. All right, let's jump into the actual chapter content. So we start off in a courtroom where you, the main character, are representing a defendant. I really don't want to get into the details of the case, mostly because I've been thinking about this plotline for a few days and I still don't really understand it. But
Yeah,
essentially,
especially the first chapter. Especially the first chapter
that
because
first
like
chapter was so like, oh,
it
the
was
pacing of it was
weird.
so weird. Okay, I'm
It,
so glad
it
I'm
was
not the
so
only one who
weird.
thought the pacing was a little weird.
You have the opening scene, and that plays such a major part in the later on plot for the first chapter, but the plot still is just like weird. Like it didn't like
Yeah.
I understand why it's there, but like it could also have been I don't know, something normal. Fucking tree laws. We'll get into it. I
Lord,
can't.
we'll get into it. Well, actually, no, we won't, because I don't want to talk about this.
We won't. We won't.
We're gonna talk about the case at very high level, and we're leaving it at that because I can't
Yeah,
get into this fucking tree law. Like, I have no interest in it. It's so niche. Even later on in the fucking chapter,
I
even the main
know.
character admits that they don't really know what they're
No,
talking
anything
about.
about it. Anything about it.
So we're just gonna skip past it. So essentially, you're in court. You win a case about property fencing and ultimately something called tree law. Again, just Google it yourself. I didn't Google it because I don't care that much.
Neither.
Um, it's just it's a weird, quirky thing that they decided to incorporate, which is fine. It's just that I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about it. So Quinn will win the case for their client and get approached by a woman whose name is Sadie McGraw. She's from a well-known New York City law firm called McGraw Byrne, and Sadie will offer Quinn a job on the spot and a plane ticket with their name on it. So apparently Quinn was just so fucking impressive that I don't know that she just had to offer a job.
Just
I
had
just
to.
really feel like they could have come up with a more impressive case in order to sell that to me, because when I was reading I was like, I don't know if we did such a good job that like she wants to fly us to New York City.
Yeah, and first of all, like our character comes from this small town law firm, and why it realistically would
Why was she there?
why was she there? In the dialogue, guys, just for like reference, like so you can really understand why we're saying this. In the dialogue, Quinn says, "You were just at a Supreme Court case." Like she was
That was a
just
Supreme Court case?
no, not what Quinn was doing. Quinn said you were just at a Supreme Court case yesterday.
Oh. Yeah, why
Yeah,
the
and
fuck?
so I'm like, if she is that important that she's representing Supreme Court cases, which is the highest form of like law trial you have, why does she know who you are?
Listen, like I've said this on the first chapter of Foreign Affairs. I like to give books a break in like the first two or three chapters because they're just trying to establish some sort of precedent, and just sometimes there's some things or some plot points and stuff you just kind of have to put up with in order to get to where the book wants to go. But uh, it's just not a very believable precedent. Like, I don't know why she's there for that particular case. I don't know why she was listening in. I don't think that what Quinn did in the court case, like in the actual courtroom, was like that impressive. Like, I mean, it was cool. Like, won the case for their client that the client didn't think they were gonna win. But I don't know what that necessarily means that Quinn deserves to be given like a job on the spot with like no other references or interviews or anything. I don't know. It's just not very believable to me. Is all I'm trying to say. Like, I just didn't really believe it. But I mean, they had to get us to New York somehow. They couldn't have just said they could have just done what they did in a different book that I don't want to name the specific plots, but essentially it's a different book that is based off of an occupation, and you just start off as an employee on your first day. I don't know why they had to have this like flashy intro sequence where like you're so impressive they invite you to the firm. Why couldn't you just have been like an intern who got offered a job and then start on their first day? Like, that would have been
Yeah,
so much more believable than like this plot. This first chapter, and this is why the second chapter, y'all, I promise it gets better, but
it's
the first
so
chapter,
good. We can literally
second
breeze
chapter
through.
is so good, but the first chapter is just so like awkward. I don't know
Mhm,
what it is.
mhm.
So then there's going to be a flash forward to Quinn waking up in a hotel in New York City before they get ready to go to the law office. Now, Lucas, this is an opportunity for them to show us a outfit. We're going to have to do a splurge or a skip. Now, this is a book where you can choose your gender, so we're going to be discussing two outfits. So, Lucas, I'm going to send you the female one. So out here, I'll just say it's called Opening Statement. The description is you only get one chance to make your first impression, and it is a 12 diamond outfit. So why don't you just go ahead and start describing that one?
Okay, so we have her accessories are a black belt with a gold buckle that pairs nicely with a gold necklace and a gold bracelet. I do like that splash of gold with the black belt that just kind of ties in the accessories because I normally wouldn't go for a. She has a red skin tight dress that goes past a little bit above her knees. It cuts above her knees a little bit and this collar does this like fun flowy thing where it looks like someone pulled on the dress and it got loose and then you just drop it and it became an aesthetic.
It's
But what
like
I
a
was gonna
cowl neck
say,
kind of
yeah.
thing, right? Yeah, it's like a cowl neck.
I normally don't like gold and red together, but I think the black belt really does kind of tie it together a little bit. I do
Hmm.
think this is a nice outfit. Um,
So if you were playing a woman,
mhm.
would you buy this?
Yeah, I would. I would. For something like fun and like fresh, like yeah, I would buy it.
Okay, I didn't buy it just because the intro to the fucking chapter was so weird. I was like, it's so early in the book. Like, I'm like, I don't even know if I want to spend
Yes.
diamonds on this book. Like, I don't even know if I feel like that
Yes.
yet. So I didn't get it. It wasn't a bad outfit. I just didn't feel like spending money on it. I guess I'll describe this one. It's a very nice, like, what is that, periwinkle
Yes,
colored
bitch.
suit.
Yes.
It was like a
Yes.
periwinkle business suit with like a lavender colored what is that called? Button
A
down?
dress shirt.
Dress shirt. Thank you very much. Purple tie with a little gold clip, and then he's wearing a gold watch. I think, it's a nice suit. It's nice. I don't hate it. I will say both outfits are quite nice. There's really nothing for me to make fun of here like there is on some chapters. But did I buy the outfits? No. Did you buy the outfit?
So, I actually did buy
Oh,
this outfit.
okay.
I did. The colors just went very well with it, and I was like, I can't say no to this.
Okay. Okay, so you splurged, I skipped. Overall, my summary is that very nice outfits. I tend to hold my diamonds until something interesting happens, and outfits are just not where I'm gonna splurge. I usually splurge on diamonds, which we'll talk about later on in the episode. Okay, before we get on with the rest of the chapter, let me interrupt with some plugs. So you can leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/play-choices-podcast/message. It could show up in a future episode. You can also directly support this podcast at anchor.fm/play-choices-podcast/support. If we haven't convinced you yet, listen to this amazing, amazing commercial that Lucas and I put together for you. It
In
takes
the
me
arms
hours.
of an angel.
It takes me, no, keep singing. It takes me
I
hours to record. No, keep doing it.
Here
It takes me
are
hours to record and edit this podcast.
wherever you
And
are.
with your donation
I believe
of
that
$1 a
my
month
heart will
could save me from
go
smashing her fucking head into a
on.
wall.
Why does the heart
Thank you so
go?
much. And back to our episode. We arrive at the office. We're met with a paralegal whose name is Ryan, who will give Quinn a walkthrough. Ryan will tell Quinn to not engage in self deprecating humor because it will influence how people see them. In the middle of the tour, we see Gabe Ritchie, who's a junior partner. Gabe will ask Quinn to join him, and then Gabe will bring Quinn into a meeting with a rival lawyer whose name is Mary, and he will ask Quinn for help with his negotiation because of the tree of law knowledge that we skipped over because I didn't want to talk about it. This ends up being a front anyways because Gabe will kind of like low key instruct Quinn to lie for him in order to win the negotiation. Gabe will admit to this afterwards and say that he also got the opportunity to test how Quinn reacts under pressure, so it was like you're low key getting tested at the same time. Gabe will offer to take Quinn out to lunch after this interaction. Did you end up taking the scene?
I did. I did end up taking this scene.
So let's just walk through what happens that you could tell me whether or not you thought it was worth the investment, okay? So Quinn and Gabe will go get coffee, and Gabe will say that he wanted to meet Quinn because he thinks it's interesting that they can keep up with him as a senior associate. During the conversation, Gabe will tell Quinn not to undersell themselves. This is yet again the second time that Quinn's been given this advice. We also learn that Gabe was a public defender, but he seems to be, regretful about how much good he actually did while he was on the job. He also comments that being a public defender is quite a relentless job. He will say that Sadie offered him his current job by saying he could do more good at this firm, and he still does do pro bono cases, so he takes like a mix of them. I will say overall my impression of it when I didn't buy the diamond scene. I went ahead and
Mm-hmm.
watched it on YouTube. But I would say overall it's a pretty decent scene. I think the only thing that was interesting to me is like Gabe seems kind of like sad
Yes. Okay, so here's the thing. And this is why I was like, this is the only thing that I would like about this chapter. I
Okay.
don't think it is pussy plot because
Yeah.
how often do they give you a diamond scene and you like the option to kiss him is not even there?
Yeah.
And I was like, one, really shocked about that. And two, Gabe's character, like how he came off initially, like we all know character development is behind these diamond options most of the time.
Mhm.
So to see someone cocky and to see someone like, "Oh, I'm surprised you can, like, even keep up with me," or like he threw us under the bus. He threw us in the water with the sharks. Like we had no
Mhm.
business being in that meeting
No
over these damn
business.
fucking tree laws.
No business. He was like, "How much are the trees?" And Quinn's looking at him, and behind his back, he's like, "Say 3 million. Say 3 million. Say 3 million."
Like, we had
Like,
no business being in there. So for us to have this private, intimate interaction with them and then not be pussy talk and it just be genuinely like, I came here because I see how people need help, how they can't always afford top-notch lawyers. And it's almost like the devil's advocate, like a double-edged sword, a necessary evil for him to be in the same position that he understands why people can't afford. It really adds to his character. I like it.
yeah, no, I think it's so interesting. I hope that in like future chapters we get more into this because the thing about Gabe is that like he's very upfront and direct that he had to make a couple of sacrifices to get to where he is.
Mhm.
So like he's knowledgeable of the fact that he can help people, but he also realizes like it's also very just fucking like exhausting personally to do that.
Yeah.
But also this man needs to make money. Like I'm sure he went to a decent law school that he's probably like drowning in debt, right? So he like needs to make money eventually. And so it's just like it's a double-edged sword. Like on one hand it's like good for you, but then you also feel bad because then you're like maybe I could be doing more to like help people. So I hope we get more into this. I'm so intrigued by his character. Like the diamond scene makes his character so much more likable in the first chapter
Yeah.
because even like we'll get into this later, but even in the diamond scene from the second chapter, like he still seemed like he
The
had
same,
this.
right? The
Yes, he had
same.
this like wall up where
Yes.
it's just like he's just so professional and you're like there has to be
Yes.
something like
Yes. Yes.
deeper behind that character. Like fucking even Ethan Ramsey opened up more in his diamond scenes than Gabe's opened up to us. So now I'm like, wait, he actually seems like he has a lot of internal conflict that seems really interesting. I like the fact that he's keeping it professional and he's not just like trying to fuck us like in the office.
Exactly, what
Like
y'all know is V's pet peeve. I
it's my fucking pet peeve. I
That's
can't
literally
stand
what I
when
was about to
someone's
ask you, like, I'm like, I feel like this is one of the first choices type boss relationship where the boss is actually acting like a boss and still.
yes, thank you. He's actually acting like a fucking supervisor is supposed to fucking act. Like
Yeah.
he's keeping it professional and like even when he does kind of flirt with you in chapter 2, I mean we're skipping ahead but fuck it. Even when he does kind of flirt with you in chapter 2, like it's like with a little wink. Like and
Yes,
even as he's flirting with you, he's
yes.
pulling away at the same time because he flirts with you right before he leaves you with your friends.
Yes, obviously, things will probably change in the future if you continue to pursue Gabe as a ally, but he's not ripping your clothes off the first chance he meets, which is just major unprofessionalism. But he's not saying like he's not like fuck my morals, fuck my job, come here, I want to fuck you type shit. He's genuinely
Exactly.
being professional about this and still like really thinking about his career and his diamond scene teaches you why he thinks about his career so much and so often, which
Yes.
just love him. I just love him.
It's actually like when you take the diamond scenes, like he actually has quite a lot of depth to his character that I feel like is not apparent um in the free scenes with him. So I definitely think he's gonna be a character I'm gonna keep my eye on. I'm gonna keep my eye on. When I first played and I didn't take any of the diamond scenes when I was playing, I was like, I don't know how I feel about you. I don't know why I should like you. But he's actually I'm not bad. But yeah, so overall, very decent scene. I want to learn more about the character, which we do learn a little bit more, I guess, in chapter 2. So after the lunch, Sadie will come to Quinn's office and ask how they're settling in. This is when it is revealed that there is a game feature introduced where if Quinn has gained some info, normally through the diamond scenes, they can use it to increase their reputation at the firm, and the game will mark whatever the correct answer is. This particular instance, you have to like compliment Sadie's jewelry, and she'll take it as like, oh, I love it when an associate has like a sense of style. So it just gives you like a little bit of reputation points with her. So Sadie will call over Aislinn. She is another senior associate who is going to help us find an apartment in New York City. That's not actually her job, I guess, when you work in a firm like this. Everybody just be getting pulled up all the time just to help with random shit.
Just doing whatever.
Exactly, just doing whatever you can. Ashlyn will find you either a garden level apartment or a nicer one. Did you take the Diamond Choice apartment?
No, I did not. I
I
don't.
did not. They were like, "Oh, for the entire series, you're gonna have this like nicer apartment," and I was like, "Number one, are you already plotting a book two?" But also, it's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, we've been 2 chapters deep, and bitch, we're a lawyer. We're not gonna have that much time outside of work. I'm gonna go home and go to bed and wake up and be at the office by 6 a.m. anyways.
Yeah, like that's it. Yeah.
Like, I'm not. I mean, I guess for like a nicer setting for the entire duration of the book for 15 diamonds isn't that bad, but I didn't take it. So later, Quinn will be called to an all hands on meeting with Sadie. We are introduced to new senior associates. The first one, who is Gigi, who she introduces herself as a play hard type of woman. Martin, who is a bit more serious than Gigi, and Bo, who ends up being Sadie's nephew. Sadie will begin talking about a man whose name is Leave Abelman. He is retiring. Gabe ends up replacing Leave as senior partner. Because Gabe is promoted, there's now an opening for a junior partnership, which creates an opportunity for the rest of the senior associates to compete for the spot. So, kind of left off on this cliffhanger at the end of chapter 1, where we're going to have to compete with everyone else, which is a very common trope in choices. Like, I'm not surprised. That's the end of chapter 1, so let's move on to chapter 2. It's titled Burden of Proof, and the chapter summary says you take on the first partnership challenge. Who will rise and who will fall? So we start off in a meeting with Gabe and the other associates. Gabe will pass around a folder of plaintiffs from a class action lawsuit against Kinetic Chemical. So Kinetic makes pesticides and other agricultural chemical-based products, and it started to get heat when people released videos of their tap water lighting on fire. So Lucas, this is what you and I were talking about before we started recording, that we finally know what all of these images that they had. I want to say it was in like the April Choices Insider. They had like an image of like a faucet on fire, and it was like, we knew it was a kitchen faucet in fire. We were like, what the fuck? There's no situation in which that becomes relevant.
We were
And
right.
then this shit happens. Yeah, so basically someone took a video of their tap water lighting on fire, which like proved that there's chemicals in the tap water. In a town called Sweetbook, there's been an increase in cancer deaths. Gabe is building a case to prove that a new acid in their fertilizer is contaminating the groundwater in this town. Gabe will finish by saying that all of them will be working on the case and that they will be judged by one, their billable hours, and two, innovative legal thinking. How do you feel about people being in competition, like working together on a single case?
I mean, we see that a lot throughout any type of law type situation. Like one of my favorite shows, How to Get Away with Murder, they do that. We see it in Legally Blonde, like all these intern
Yeah,
law
I love that you
students.
mentioned that because I just finished watching Legally Blonde like last
Me too,
week.
because they put it on Netflix. Hello.
Yes, because it's on Netflix. I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna finally watch it.
So it seems pretty of the norm. So I was okay
hmm
with it. Um but the idea for that little edge of pussy plot is that Gabe is the one overseeing the competition. That's where it becomes a little bit even more
Well, also you have Ashlyn on the team too.
true. That is so
hmm
true. Yeah, she is a LI option.
Yeah, we didn't mention it because they kind of skated over her character like in the first chapter, but Ashlyn is an ally, just to clarify.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't watch a lot of legal based shit, so I didn't know that this was common to do. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, if you have one big case and you have 4 people you're trying to evaluate if they're gonna get the top spot, like, I guess it makes sense. Also, I know nothing about law, but, like, how long are we gonna be working at this law firm before they tell us we're gonna be junior partner? Because I feel like junior partner sounds like a really big promotion
It is, yeah.
to give to people who just started.
Yeah.
I know nothing about law, so, like, maybe that's a dumb comment, but, like, I'm just saying. It sounds like a big deal to just hand to someone. Okay, so during the scene where Gabe is laying out the case, if you decide to ask Gabe whether there's more cases of this in different regions, Gabe will say that he's impressed with Quinn and you earn strategy points. Gabe will leave and Ryan will take the group outside to meet a group of witnesses. The team will interview all of them and decide who will be the public face of the case. Ryan will ask who wants to interview first, and you can offer to either go first or not go first. If you do, you'll gain like competition points. I feel like choices, they just be throwing arbitrary choices out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, they just be throwing out like plus strategy, plus reputation, plus competition. I'm like, what is this all adding up to? I need like a fucking meter tracking like my total points.
Yes. They don't ever fucking show you no type of meter, no type of nothing. And then you would think, why aren't these words just under like, I don't know, like reputation? You know, like that's like a very broad term. But it's like fucking confidence and like strategy. And I'm like, damn bitch, how many fucking categories are there?
Yeah, there's just a lot. So yeah, so first, if you offer to begin negotiating first, which I personally did, you will start to interview a man named Philip Arquette, whose wife is ill. He will say that she miscarried a few times and then started to regularly get sick, which started stemming from stomach cancer. He can also reveal that he's never drunk their tap water, which is why he thinks that he doesn't have the same kind of side effects that she's having. Martin will interview a plaintiff named Chris Lapointe. He is a cow farmer whose cattle started dying 3.5 years ago. He uses Koenig's fertilizer and believes that the cows were poisoned that way, but the rest of his family is fine. Gigi will interview Adrian Park, a man who recorded the tap water fire video that went viral online. You can learn that he tried it a week later and it didn't actually light again, and he will admit that he was actually high the night that he recorded it, so he's not sure if like it was him or the water, which I feel like it had to have been the water because I don't know how as a high person you're causing the water to catch on fire.
Right.
So, but either way, it is kind of tricky because like he doesn't have any evidence of it like happening multiple times over a sustained period of time, which I feel like is the type of evidence you would need to prove that someone is getting like cancer from this shit. So it's kind of tricky. So Bo will interview Elijah Redwing, who is a sickly looking child. The doctors haven't actually been able to confirm what made Elijah sick, but Elijah did used to play in the stream behind his house a lot because he was studying the fish in it. And through your questioning, you can learn that there is a farm very close to the stream. So you kind of are able to put two and two together that maybe they were using like some of Koenig's products, and that's why he got sick. Ashton will interview Miss Denny, whose husband died of brain cancer. We also learn that he is a lifelong smoker, which Quinn thinks could be used against her. I mean, it's brain cancer versus lung cancer, of course, but still, they think that the defendant's lawyers are going to come up and kind of poke holes in his medical history with that. So when the interviews end, Martin and Bo will say that the obvious star is Philip because it's a good sob story, you know? Wife who can't get pregnant, wife who has stomach cancer, yada yada yada. It will really appeal to the jury. And Ashton will counter by saying that his interview fell off. Quinn can either decide to back up the guys or back up Ashlyn. So what did you say?
I backed up Ashlyn.
I'll be honest, like I did not know. Did you get a feeling from his interview that it was kind of weird or like I didn't pick up on it being weird is basically what I'm trying to say.
No, I didn't pick up on it being weird, but what I thought was weird was that she was gonna ask a question and then she stopped. And normally it's like
Mm,
you want to ask something, but like don't like I don't know, like you know how some people are about to ask something very like invasive or very rude, and they're like, oh, you know what, never mind. I was like, maybe
yeah.
that's what it is. Maybe she got tea.
Hmm. Yeah, no. So I did end up backing up Ashlyn, but the reason why is because, well, number one, I don't really like Martin and Bo that much at this point.
No, first of all, they're so
And
fucking annoying.
They're so annoying. Like, oh my god, I just, oh my
Yeah, and
god.
then like when you back up Aislinn, you get strategy points, and I'm like, no, 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 no,
Yeah,
I don't give a
exactly.
fuck. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not agreeing with those douche bitches.
Deuce bitches. I think it was just more so is like when Choices gave us the option to like go with Martin and Bo or go with Aislinn. I was like, there has to be a reason why we're getting this option to go with Aislinn. So I just felt like, because normally I will say we got a hell of a lot more choice in the second chapter than I'm used to us getting in Choices in general.
Yeah, bro, that
So
was a lot.
there's a lot of fucking choices here.
No, no, no.
So
There's literally so fucking many. Now that I think
there's
about it, you're
so
so
fucking
right.
many. There's so many to pick from. And it's weird because they let you pick the same choice multiple times because it makes you like, you kind of like, oh shit, do I want to switch to this option? We'll get there. But when they gave us that choice to back up Aislinn, I was like, there has to be a fucking reason why they're giving us this. So that's why I picked it. But I didn't catch anything weird during the interview.
Well, also they made Aislinn look out to be like some like she barely passed her bar exam because like she forgot the question, right? And then she forgot what evidence was like why Miss Denny was there.
Yeah, like she couldn't even like, she just could not interview a witness. And I was like, girl, like, did you read her
She
file?
couldn't. She couldn't. She couldn't
It
interview her
was,
own witness. I'm like, Aislinn, that's
it
your
was
witness.
Yes, it was kind of like awkward because like she comes off as like very like nonchalant in the first chapter because she's like, "Oh, yeah, when you've been working here, you got to do all this shit." Like she seemed like very smooth and confident, and it's because she has apparently been working at the law firm like longer than any of us. Like I thought she was going to be a lot more smooth, but she just really like lost her shit this chapter.
So I was like, obviously there has to be a reason why to go to side with her because she out here bombing like this.
Yeah, she got to be smart in some way. She can't be bad at everything in the job or else she wouldn't be at that law firm. So I did go with her. Before we continue with the rest of the episode, I do want to remind everyone that if you have any questions, theories, or comments that you would like to be included in a future episode, please email us at playchoicespodcast@gmail.com. Make sure to specify whether you want to be shouted out or not, otherwise all emails will be anonymous. Questions can be related to books we've recorded episodes on, books that we haven't discussed yet, or even questions that you'd like to ask us. Alternatively, you can go to our Ask box on playchoicespodcast.tumblr.com and submit a question. Just specify that it's for the podcast and we'll be sure to include it. And back to our episode. If you do back up Aislinn, you gain strategy points. Quinn will comment that they felt like he was putting on a performance while he was telling the story. Kind of in the conversation after this, we'll learn that Martin is very antsy around Gigi, especially after she reveals that she's already read half of the discovery so far. Martin will angrily storm out, upset about Gigi being ahead of him in the competition. Let me just say, Martin, a little bitch. I don't like his ass. We gonna get more into it, but he is a little fucker, and I don't like him.
Yeah, I
He's
can't
just
stand
making
him.
enemies of everyone. For
Yeah,
what? Why are you so combative?
because you went to
Like,
fucking Yale. I don't give
Gail,
a fuck, bitch.
I don't give a fuck where you went, bitch. I don't give a single fuck.
Because
Because you
here's
know
the tea,
what?
bitch. You
No
had to
matter
go to Yale. You had to go to Yale to get noticed. Bitch, I'm from a small
exactly,
town
bitch.
and
And
got
we from
noticed.
Farmville, bitch, and still got this motherfucking job. So what does that say to you, ho? Mr. In debt, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt from law school, and you still unlikable?
Okay,
Could you imagine being
could
in
you
debt to go to
imagine?
law school and nobody likes you in your law firm?
Oh my god, that's so embarrassing.
I don't like him. Let's just keep it at that. We'll get into it later. After Martin storms out, Gigi will comment that she's not focused on the competition, but instead would like to do interesting work, and she wants to tag along with Aislinn if she decides to interview Philip again. So Aislinn will invite Quinn to help on the case. Did you take this diamond option? It was I think it was 20 diamonds.
Yeah, this diamond option was a little pricey,
It was a little pricey.
but I took it because like the prideful competitiveness really comes out in this game. So I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm getting junior partner. So like I have to get it.
I took it because I was like, ooh, this is getting kind of interesting. We gonna like interrogate him like off hours. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it's like it is so crazy because like Gigi going along with it, like I thought that was a really good writing plot
Yeah.
device. Like because I do like Gigi's character.
Yes, I do like
And
Gigi.
they made it a point to mention that she has a photographic memory, and I was like, well, we definitely need her. So let's just go
Well, we
ahead and do
don't
this.
know if she has a photographic memory. Like we don't. know that yet. Like, that was Quinn just kind of speculating.
True.
I think really it's like everyone on the team is trying to figure out why the fuck Gigi is like halfway through Discovery already.
Yeah, dead ass. And she does it offhandedly and nonchalantly. Like she
Yeah,
aggravates me
she
a little
just
bit.
making bitches feel insecure calmly. I don't like that. They will take Phil to a restaurant. Phil will reveal that he doesn't work, but both him and his wife used to work at a coffee shop. When he says this, Quinn will ask how he can afford his wife's chemo. We learn that he was injured during his time at the coffee shop, which resulted in a huge settlement from the coffee shop. The group will be surprised and agree that this could be used against him to paint him as greedy. Afterwards, Gigi and Ashlyn will ask what witness you think would be best. I guess at this point in time, which witness did you pick?
I picked the farmer with the cattle, even though I
Mhm.
know it wasn't necessarily dealing with like the direct water line, but like I just felt like he had the solid case because you have this guy who's out for money, right?
Mhm.
Miss Denny, her husband smoked, like, and I
Mhm.
understand it was two different types of, you would think that he would have lung cancer, but smoking is bad in general. Like, it could cause probably any cancer. The
Mhm.
little boy, he a little boy. Who know what he doing? He probably eating his dookie. I
Oh
just,
my god.
And then you had who was the other one? Oh fuck, that
Oh,
was
the
the
guy
name.
with the video guy.
Yes, and like he can't recreate it, and like the basis of any experiment is to be able to do it over and over again and expect and have the same
Right. And
result.
then he admitted to us that he was high.
And
So
that he
I'm
was
like, at
high.
this
So I was like, we gonna have to go with these damn beef makers. Like,
the cattle farmers. At this point in time, I picked Elijah. I felt like, of course, it's not the ideal circumstances. I do feel like you have to prove that the farm that was next to him was using the fertilizer because otherwise I wouldn't know how he would have gotten sick from the water. But I do think that he was a kid, so I was like, it's gonna pull on some heartstrings. Because really the biggest story you get from like the cattle farmer, he was like, "Ugh, yeah, it's kind of annoying. He's like, we can't retire now. And I'm like, that's not gonna make anyone sad. Like, I'm sorry.
it's true. That is so true. Yeah.
Like, I just feel like the kid was like a little bit of a bigger sob story. And plus, like, the kid's actually like really smart and intelligent, and he's very articulate in describing like how he got sick and what he was doing and stuff. Like, I felt like you could take his testimony and combine it with a little bit of like outside research to prove that the farm that was next to the stream actually was using products that would have fed off into the stream. And I feel like that could become a case. So that's why I picked Elijah. Gigi will reveal that she wants Ashlyn and Quinn to take credit for making this discovery because she's not even sure if she wants to make partner. Ashlyn will take the time to thank Quinn as well, revealing that she isn't good at the people portion of the job and that she admires what Quinn was able to do today. Which also as a side comment, one, I think it's weird that Gigi isn't even sure if she wants to make partner. Like, she didn't really give us a reason. She's just like, yeah, I'm just not even sure if I want to do this.
Yes, right. I was like, that's kind of like I don't believe you.
Yeah, no, there's something a little bit unbelievable about someone just like straight up being like, I'm not even sure if I want this big promotion that I'm in the running for. I'm like, are you trying to play a game with me, ma'am? And then the other thing that I'll say is that Quinn in the first chapter, I really did not think was that capable of a lawyer, but I feel like in this chapter is starting to seem like a lot more confident and a lot more capable at their job than I got the impression from in the first chapter.
Exactly, and I'm so glad you brought that up because most of the choices that I'm choosing are like boss bitch confident type
Mhm.
responses only because of two things. One, this woman found me in the middle of nowhere. That should be enough as it is. Like
Right.
the fact that she even want me, I, I should be like, why am I even in competition with junior partner? Y'all should just give it to me.
Oh,
Secondly, is the fact that Ryan said like no self-deprecating type comments. Like this is about being confident. This is about being a lawyer, and like being a lawyer, it's all about taking the control and just like it's all about power to literally be able to poke holes in someone else's opinions to where they just fall apart, and you have to sway people in order to side with you. Like it's all about power, it's all about confidence. So I was like, we need to embody that. And so to see Quinn do that, I was like, yes,
yeah,
we're here
no
for
more
that.
small town. I'm a farmer. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm from Farmsville. Like, No more of that fucking talk, please. We gotta get over that. Like, baby, you're in New York City now. You can't be standing in the subway being like, I'm not from here, I don't know where I am, but how you get robbed, bitch?
Period.
You
You in New
can't
York
say that in
City,
the
okay?
city.
The city gonna make you, okay?
Exactly, bitch. The city's either gonna eat you or spit you out as a phoenix, okay? It's one of the two. So we can't be doing this little small town shit. So after this diamond scene, Gable asked everyone to reveal their. Oh, can I also just say, like, both of us took the diamond scene, so I have no idea how this, if this conversation happens, like, if you get the opportunity to pick a witness that you think would be better before the scene. But after the diamond scene, Gable asked everyone to reveal their recommendations. It's interesting because you can still choose to recommend Phil even after knowing this information about them. So, who'd you recommend? Did you
I
still
s-
stick with the farmer?
yeah, I stuck with the farmer. Yeah.
Okay. I will say that I stuck with my initial thought, which was Elijah too. Pretty much any correct answer, all of them are correct except for Phil. Like, I don't know what I couldn't find anyone who actually picked Phil because it just seems stupid to like think that you're going to get an edge up when like literally 3 people out of the group, like the majority of the senior associate group like knows that he's not a good witness. So like why would you intentionally pick Phil with information that you have in your back pocket that proves that he's not going to be a good witness? I don't understand how that option was going to give you a competitive edge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was very weird. But basically, you can pick anyone who isn't Phil and you'll get it correct. Gable asks why you didn't pick Phil, and Quinn can reveal the new information and whether to actually share credit with Aislinn. Did you do that?
I did. I did.
Hmm. Yeah, I felt kind of fucked up to not give her credit.
Yeah, right? And the fact that we didn't get points, anything from that, I was said, "Oh, okay. All right. Cool."
He said, okay. Gotcha. I wonder what would have happened because Ashlyn, like, she says later on that she's not really good at like sticking up for herself. So I wonder if she just would have like let you take it.
Right. And it's so crazy cuz like learning that later on almost made me feel better for giving her the credit.
Yes, because you're like, oh, she wouldn't have like spoken up for herself, which I guess if you're gonna take the credit, you don't really want her to speak up for herself, but it just felt shitty. Like there are times where like they'll give me a choice and I'll be like, I will feel like such a shit person if I don't take this choice. Listen, I know it's a video game. I know it's a little mobile game, but I feel bad, bro. I'll be having
Same.
like moral conflicts
Same.
with these characters.
Same.
So yeah, I gave her credit. Gabe will reveal that we have depositions with 3 of Koenig's witnesses. So later on, the team will be working through the discovery files in the local library, I think. And Gigi and Bo will suggest that they go to the bar to blow off some steam. Gigi will buy alcohol for the table, and Gabe will walk into the bar, which introduces some diamond options to spend time with both Gabe and Ashlyn. So did you take either of these diamond scenes?
I spent time with Gabe.
Okay. So if you spend time with Gabe, I also just full disclosure, I bought like both Gabe and Ashlyn's diamond scenes. I guess just buying the previous diamond scene just opened up my fucking wallet because I just started buying every diamond option that they gave us. Like
No,
the
same. I'm trying to tell you these are the hardest diamond options to turn down.
the hold that this chapter has on me from a diamond's perspective needs to be studied by fucking Harvard
No, they
because
literally took all my fucking. It needs to study by Yale, the same college that fucking
yes,
Martin went to.
studied by well, fuck Yale. If they're spitting out assholes like Martin, I'm sticking with Harvard, bitch. I ain't gonna open up nothing in Yale if this is the type of students and alumni that they're pushing out. Yeah, I don't know. It's just this chapter was just so good. Like I was just buying diamond scenes. I was like, oh hell, someone stop me because I'm so tight with my diamonds. I'm like I hoard my diamonds, so this shit had me by the fucking chokehold. But if you spend time with Gabe, Gabe will take you to the outside courtyard and will ask Quinn how they're doing. If Quinn reveals that they feel out of their league, Gabe will scold them for admitting this to their evaluator, which is fair. You should not go to your boss and be like, I don't feel like I'm doing a good job. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel totally lost. Gabe will admit that he was watching Quinn before the competition even started, and now that he's the judge, he would like to see Quinn win the partner spot. Gabe will end the conversation saying that he finally sees what Sadie saw in Quinn. So, overall, what is your impression of the diamond scene?
Again, Gabe is being very respectful,
Mm-hmm.
professional. It's good to know that like he's like truly rooting for you from a just work standpoint and not a pussy
Mm-hmm.
standpoint. Like he's like, no, like you're very brilliant. I knew that from the moment I saw you. That's why I asked. That's why I threw you in the sharks with the attorney. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I'm, watching you pursue this whole new career for yourself and actually like thriving for it. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked it. I also like that I love the way they write the narration of these scenes because like I picked the option when he asked you how you were doing. There was like one option that was like flirty, another option that was like I don't know what I'm doing, another option that was like everything's amazing, and I was like these are very extreme options. So I picked the one where they were like, "Oh, I feel a little lost." And the way that they describe his face is like it's almost like you could see him put his work mask on during that scene. Like it literally was like describing Gabe's face, and it was talking about how he went from like looking casual to like looking more like serious, and his face just started to kind of like flatten almost, like the facial expressions just kind of like flatten into something that was like less friendly when you said that. So it was just really interesting to like watch him kind of put on like his professional hat in that scene. Like he's still very much like leaning into this like boss persona, which is not a persona, it's his role at work. But it was very interesting because I feel like I'm picking all these diamond options, but he's just like, I gotta chip away at this cold exterior. I gotta chip away at
Yes.
it.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know why I'm like this because I swear to God, y'all, in real life, when it comes to people that I have feelings on, if someone's acting like this to me, I don't pursue them. But something about choices allies, it's just like you just know that there's something vulnerable at the center of their personality, and I want to find it. I want to find it. I want to figure out what's going on with Gabe. So
Right.
I thought it was a pretty good scene. For Aislinn, Aislinn, the last time that we had left her, she was stuck in a conversation with Martin, which girl, we got to save her. So you will save Aislinn from having a conversation with Martin. Aislinn will admit that she has a hard time speaking up for herself, especially when they're in the moment. And it's just like a nice little kind of scene where she opens up to you, and Quinn is able to kind of like give her a little bit of a motivational speech, tell her, she got to start acting like she belongs here, yada, yada, yada. There's also this quirk about Asha like ordering onion rings and eating all of the breading before she eats actual onion. So it's just like she kind of like uses her teeth to like peel the breading away from the onion, and then she eats the onion. And they mentioned it like two different times.
Yeah, it was very weird, but like also kind of cute and endearing.
I just I almost like wonder what that is supposed to lead us towards. I kind of when it comes to like food habits like that, I kind of stray away from describing it as cute because I feel like when people are that particular about the method in which they eat their food, it rings to me like there's something kind of mental going on there. Like it's like, do they have like some sort of like disorder where they have to eat it this way? I even saw a comment that said that like and this is a random person on the internet, so I'm not saying that it's like factual. I'm just saying that I read it somewhere. Could be wrong. But I read someone saying that the way that she was eating the onion rings reminded them of how one of their like autistic relatives ate food. So I don't know if that's what they're gearing up
Right.
towards. Like if she's on the spectrum, and that's why like maybe she feels like she has a hard time like communicating with people, and maybe that's what they're trying to hint at.
Maybe, yeah.
So I don't I did it's gonna come up obviously. I don't think that they would bring in that detail just to like have it never follow through, but it's just like an interesting thing to notice like with her character. So hopefully we'll figure it out in upcoming chapters. All right, before we move on to the rest of the chapter, let me interrupt to plug our socials. We are at Play Choices Podcast on Instagram and at Play Choices Pod on Twitter. You can also go to playchoicespodcast.tumblr.com for our Tumblr page, which is where I post any episode notes that I have, like links to posts that I've mentioned, photos I've mentioned, or more. We're also available for listening on all major platforms, so if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please rate, review, and subscribe. It's a funky thing with the algorithm that helps us a lot. I wish I could explain it more in depth, but I just know that it helps us, so we do appreciate any reviews that you leave us. And as always, we are a growing podcast, so if you see us pop up on your socials, we do appreciate a share, a retweet, or a reblog, depending on the platform you see us on. We also appreciate it when you share our podcast with your fellow choices-loving friends. And now back to the episode. So after the diamond scene, Martin will pull Quinn aside. He will bring up the case from chapter 1 that got Quinn the job offer, and he'll mention 2 different kind of arguments that he would have brought up to have defeated Quinn's argument about the tree law. And he will say that Quinn doesn't belong here. Like, he's like, oh, I went to Yale, like we studied like real law there, and like you just don't belong here with me. Which, like, I'm like, bitch. How do I say this? Some men's masculinity is so fragile because I just know he's sitting here being like, I can't believe I'm from Yale and I haven't read half the discovery as the black woman here, and I can't believe that she's from Farmtown. I mean, your character's male, so it doesn't necessarily apply to you as much, but just me playing as a woman and playing as a female character, this is the way the scene speaks to me. Like, I just know he's sitting there at his little desk and he's just like shaking and he's like, I can't believe these 2 women are ahead of me in discovery, and I can't believe that she's from a fucking small town. She's from fucking Farmsville. I'm saying Farmsville like the MC in Queen Bee, but I can't believe she's from a small town and she's here. Like, this man is so insecure, and it's just causing him to latch out to everybody. And when it comes from a male character, I'm like, oh, it's just the toxic masculinity, the fragile, toxic masculine ego. I'm not trying to put all men down. Not all men are like this, but like there are some men that very much have like toxic masculine
Oh yeah.
syndrome. And he fits the stereotype of just like, he doesn't have to be in competition with everyone. Like, everyone else being friendly, he's the only one who being aggro for no reason. And like the most interesting thing when he's at the bar, when he's talking to Aislinn, the most interesting thing he can say about himself is like his debate team. Even in the diamond scene, Quinn's like, bro, we're lawyers. All of us are on the debate team. You're not special. We all did that as the extracurricular. He's a fucking asshole. I don't fucking like Martin. So Gigi and Bo will interrupt the conversation before Quinn can kind of retort back to Martin, and then the group will get a message from Sadie to come into the office. Like, at that moment, it's like midnight, and she's saying come into the office because there's been a new development on the case. So that is chapter 2. Pretty interesting, pretty beefy, like much more beefy than I had anticipated. I actually quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So looking forward to reading the rest of the series. I am optimistically hopeful that this is going to be a fulfilling book. The last time we had done, I believe, the Nanny Affair, we did rapid fire character impressions, like the funniest thing I've ever listened to. So we're going to do it again. So again,
let's do it.
first impression, off the cuff, Sadie.
Oh, she's chill. I think she withholds a lot, so my eye is kind of on her. Like, I know everyone makes her out to be this like direct queen and like doesn't necessarily have to like, I don't know. She's the type of person when she says jump, they say how high, but like, why me? I think I'm still stuck on that, and maybe it's just a poor plot device. But like, part of me wants there to be another reason, because like, bitch, I'm from Farmsville. Like, how do you know who I am?
Yeah, it was very random. I will say Sadie, I mean, I find her intimidating. There's just something, I mean, she's just one of those bosses who like is higher up, like she's like a couple levels above you and you're like, I don't know nothing about this bitch. Like,
Yeah.
so I find her kind of intimidating, but like you said, I mean, even in the Diamond chapter in chapter 2, Gabe was like saying how he was like, he always said from the beginning that he thought you had potential, but like in the Diamond scene in chapter 2, he was like, I finally see what Sadie saw in you, which I wasn't
Yes.
before. And I was like, can someone please tell me what the fuck I did that was so impressive in that courtroom? Because I
Yes.
just do not recall. Like, I don't know what the fuck I did. Okay, let's talk about Ryan. Rapid fire.
Okay. I respect Ryan. I think he is who I was in the past. Like, just want to make a name, make a name for himself,
Okay.
wants to get educated like him. He's chill.
I really don't have an opinion of this man yet. Like, he really hasn't done anything stand out for me. Like, I mean, he seems chill. I hope we get to know more about him, but I really don't have an opinion. Gabe.
Love him. That's baby daddy. Love him.
Yeah, I'm very interested in him.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you, this is not rapid fire, but like, do you find the male LI arts for Gabe like attractive?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
I do not find them attractive. Like, I just didn't. I was just looking at them and I was like, something about their faces look off to me. I picked the white Gabe because he had the strongest jawline out of all of them, and I just felt he looked the most normal. And the other two just look kind of like weird to me. I don't know what it was. They've been introducing some new allies in some of their most recent books that I'm just really struggling to find attractive. Like I'm trying. I'm really trying, y'all, and like I do not want to fuck any of them. Like I really like Gabe's personality. Right now, they're all butter faces for me, okay? What was I gonna say? Yeah, I picked like the white Gabe because I thought he had a better jawline than the other two. I don't know if I find him handsome. Let's move on from this. Aislinn.
Um, good. She's fine. She's a friend. I'm not gonna see her like. I'm not gonna see her as a ally standpoint, unless something more, intriguing about her is, comes to light. But like, she's just like, I look at her and I'm like, let's go, pal. Let's take over the world.
Let's go, pal. Let's go, pal. I'm fucking done. So the only thing that I will say from like an ally standpoint where she kind of had me was when she was like thanking Quinn in the diamond scene, like grabbed her hands. I was like, oh, okay, we established a little bit of, she broke the touch barrier very fast. If you don't know what the touch barrier is, the touch barrier is like the amount of time between meeting someone and when you actually put your hands on them. And like breaking the touch barrier is I've watched a matchmaker talk about this. Breaking the touch barrier is like a very easy way to like make someone attracted to you because like you put your hands on them in a way that's acceptable and friendly and approachable, and it kind of just makes them more comfortable to you. So she broke the touch barrier very soon into knowing Quinn, and I thought that was so interesting because it's not something that I feel like is brought up in like the ally scenes that often.
Yeah,
Normally,
true.
when you break the touch barrier with allies and choices, it's like you kiss them, and it's just, like that's it. But she like grabbed her, and it was so sincere too. She said, "I just really want to thank you." She grabbed her hands. I was like, "Oh." So that's what kind of like Ashland's cute. First of all, she's a very cute character.
Yeah, she really is. She is
I could
gorgeous.
see her like I could see if she was a real life character, like I might have a crush on her. I would just like to see her like open up a little bit.
Yes, but I also feel like, mm, maybe it's just because of our personality, me and UV, but her personality paired with Gabe's personality, it's just like, I feel like I can't even think of an analogy. It's like a lion and a zebra, you know?
Yeah, no, she's very much prey in a predator world.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I would like to see her like develop more of a backbone. Like I feel like
mhm,
that's what she's missing. It's nice that she's so sweet and like I don't think she needs to lose that part of her.
right.
Like I don't want her to lose her sweetness, but I do want her to get the ability to stand up for herself because you can still be a sweet person and still stand up for yourself.
Oh, yes, yes.
So that's what I want to see from her. Bo.
Bo. Listen. I said, who the fuck is that? And that just shows irrelevant. He's so irrelevant.
Irrelevant, annoying frat boy personality. I hope there's something more to him because if he's going to be Sadie's nephew and we have to be nice to him, Lord help me.
Yes.
Ugh, Martin, I would like to kick this man
Yeah, in the
into
balls.
a dumpster 20 yards away.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's where he belongs. I don't like
It's
him.
so crazy how Bo's personality is the same as Martin, but Martin is still so much shitty that it makes me forget about Bo. Like, how do you out dick someone who is already a dick? And
Like, they're both just like, I don't hate Bo. Like, I guess it's just more so like he reminds me of like those annoying like frat guys that I met when I was in college, and I hate. Well, I said I don't hate them, but I do hate them. Yeah. But to me, Bo's like a golden retriever. Like he runs around being super enthusiastic and just like very dumb, and he has no idea that people perceive him the way that they're perceiving him. And like Martin's actively an asshole.
yeah, like he thinks that everyone's laughing with him, but like we're laughing at him. He can't distinguish
Correct.
that.
Correct. All right, last person, Gigi.
She chill. She nice. She a little. I still think watch out for the Regina George in sheep's clothing, to quote Katy Perry. But I don't know. I want to know more about her character. It's like
Yeah, I'm
she
keeping an eye on her.
overshares. She overshares, but never on anything that's important or about her. Truly
I'm
about
keeping an
her.
eye on her. I'm keeping an eye on her. I don't trust her. It's like, here's the thing, I really want to like her. Like during the diamond scene, she was very endearing, but when she was like, "Oh no, I don't really care. I just want to do interesting work," but meanwhile she's putting in like double time to like work on this case. Like I was like, it doesn't like she's putting in a lot of effort for someone who like doesn't actually want to win the competition, because obviously the more effort you put in, like the more you're going to win the competition. There was only one point where Quinn was like, "You may not want to read the discovery that fast because then you have less billable hours," which does count in the competition. But I just feel like sometimes now, Lucas, we have not gotten to this point of any choices book for you, but I do feel like occasionally in choices books they kind of give you someone who's like friendly to you, and then they'll subvert your expectations because they'll become an enemy, like low key, like they'll just backstab you like out of nowhere, and then that person becomes your enemy for the rest of the book. And I feel like that's what they're building Gigi up to be. Like I feel like they're building her to be like this person who like pretends to be
Oh.
nonchalant but is like secretly really cutthroat. So it's nothing against Gigi. Like she hasn't actually done anything to like make me think that she's gonna betray us. She's a little quirky, she's a little weird in certain points of the book, but not actually yet. But just because I know that's something that Choices does, I feel like I'm looking at her out of the side of my eye at all times. Like that's how I feel about her. I don't want to. I want to believe she's like as cool as like I think she is, but there's just something about her that feels a little like I can't get a good grasp on what her intentions are, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I was gonna jump into bingo, but I did tell you one thing that they did that I did not like in the first chapter, and I feel like you're gonna be like, well, obviously you didn't like it because you know how I am. But in the first chapter, when you first meet Gabe, they're like, oh, this crackle of electricity between the. I'm like, if y'all don't fucking stop with this shit.
They do it throughout the whole first chapter. They'll be
The
like,
whole first chapter, Gabe will
yes.
breathe in your direction. She's like, "Oh, my pussy wet."
Yes,
Oh!
and it just makes it so awkward. Like, I understand that first view because, like, and you know what's so funny? I literally took a screenshot of how of like the way that they depicted him, like his leg, like all propped up, him like the balcony of New York City behind him. Like, I could kind of understand that, but then like they would literally be like. He stood beside me and like breathed a little hard and looked at me for 8 seconds, and I'm like, okay, enough. Like,
He gave me a look, and I opened up my legs. Like I'm like, why is the MC like this? And even when there's
and
opportunities
every
to flirt with him,
literally,
there's opportunities to flirt
literally,
with him in every scene that are so inappropriate. Like there's that scene where he's giving y'all like the lowdown on the case in like the beginning of
and to
chapter
flirt with
2.
him in front of
In
everyone.
front of everybody, she's like, "Oh, is it gonna give me an advantage if I like get to know you a little better?" I said, "Quinn, if
And
you
you know what?
said
Here's the thing. He literally gave him an option, gave your character an option like, oh, do you mean like professionally, like about the case, or like
right."
romantically? And Quinn decides to be like, oh, it doesn't matter as long as it's like with you. And what does Gabe do? He's like professional. He's like, no, that's like, first of all, I'm busy. No. And second of all, professionally, that's not gonna be good. And I'm like, yes, Gabe, yes. But still, that first
Lord,
chapter,
if I flirted with my boss in front of a meeting and everyone and he said I'm busy, no, I would cry. I would have to go to the bathroom and take a break.
I would have to go back to Farmsville. I would have to talk to Sadie and
I
be
gotta
like,
fly back. I gotta
you
fly
were
back. I'm
wrong.
so sorry. I gotta fly back. Oh my god. Who'd Oh, yeah, no. I just it's like it's so embarrassing because at least if I'm gonna flirt heavy, like get a little bit back to me to make it less cringy. But when they don't flirt back the same, ooh, my skin starts to crawl, bitch. Like my skin starts like, ugh, I hate it. Okay, so let's go into bingo. So actually, Kath, our beloved guest host, she had mentioned in episode 9 of ours that her parents are, or was it episode 13? One of the parts. She had mentioned that her parents were lawyers, and so she actually gave me the majority of the prompts for this bingo.
Love her.
Love her. We have no choice but to stand. So yeah, let's all give Kath a little bit of a round of applause for providing the majority of the prompts. I think I wrote maybe like 5 of them, but it's mostly Kath. We're clapping very quietly because we don't
Very
want to like
quietly.
fuck up our
Very-
mics. You know, we care about the audio here at Play Choices Podcast. We care about the audio. Thank you very much. So let's just go down the list. So MC gets away with being shy at a law firm.
Uh,
Hmm.
I mean,
I guess it depends on how you play the
yeah, I guess it
MC.
does. But I just feel like if we're talking about what's true to the MC's intentions and characters, it would just be that wouldn't like literally the first scene at your job. Ryan's like, "We don't like quiet bitches over here." And it's like, "Oh, okay, okay."
I will say if we could get away with marking it, it would be because like you do get an opportunity to be like, no, if someone else can go first, I don't want to go first.
Yeah, that is very true. You do.
Do we mark it?
Yeah, I think we mark it because it's all about how you play
I
and
think
like.
we mark it
I think
because
we
you
mark it.
can play shy a little bit. You can decide not to go interrogate Phil further. So, we'll mark it. Pay diamonds to look professional. Um, I mean, yes, you do have to pay for diamonds in order to get the outfits, but I still feel like you look pretty professional without the diamond options.
Yes, yes.
I'm gonna let you decide if we mark that one.
See, the only thing is, I paid for the outfit. Girl, they really talking about this fucking outfit in every goddamn chapter. Like, even in the second chapter, there's a scene where when Gabe tells everyone that you and Gigi are like neck and neck to become junior partner, Martin's like, why Farmsville, basically? And Gabe's like, did you see the way they were dressed? And I was like, damn, we still talking about this fucking outfit? And he was like, and like to be dressed nicely makes like an impression in a professional setting.
mm, so you would mark it.
Yeah, I think I would mark it.
Okay, we're gonna mark it. MC can sleep with their boss. I mean, it's gonna come up. I feel like we should keep that until the actual chapter we get to fuck Gabe.
Yes, yes.
So we know we're gonna mark that one, but I don't want to prematurely call it. The opposition is friends with the judge. Could be a thing. I think the next chapter summary alludes to us being in court, so I guess we'll find out there. MC pokes holes in the opposition via via open hearts, and then suddenly it hits you trope. Like when you have like a Dr. House moment.
Well,
And then wins the case.
that did
So,
happen, right?
but it also says wins the case, which is like we haven't won anything. So I feel like we're gonna have to wait until we're in the
We're gonna have
courtroom.
to wait.
I'm sure it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kath is right on the money with this one. But I just think this is one we know we're gonna fuck Gabe. We know it. We just gotta wait. MC has better ideas than people who have been lawyers for years.
Ooh.
Is discovering that Phil was in a settlement considered an idea?
Um.
And plus, that wasn't even MC's idea. That was
It wasn't.
Aislinn's.
It was not. It wasn't initially. No.
Well, yeah, I don't want to take credit for
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna hold off. I
I
think.
don't
I
want to take
think
credit.
Quinn will get there, but I'm gonna hold off.
Exactly. MC will give legal advice to random people regardless of the type of law that they practice. I haven't really gotten there yet.
No.
No. Despite doing pro bono work, a character would still make a lot of money. No, I mean, when we did the diamond scene with Gabe, he acknowledged that he didn't make a lot of money doing that.
He did. He did.
Yeah, he said he had to win a couple of like big money cases in order to afford for the firm to do pro bono cases. So I don't know if we'll do that. Someone will have a tragic story of a loved one getting screwed over by the system. Now, if that didn't specify a loved one and was just anybody getting screwed over by the system, we could mark that today.
Right. It's loved one.
Yeah, it's loved one. It's that part of the prompt that's stopping us. There is a misuse of billable hours.
Ooh. Okay.
I wouldn't say not yet, but that's a very interesting idea.
It is. It's very interesting. Yeah.
MC will adopt a pet from a client. Hasn't happened yet, but could possibly happen. A deposition goes horribly, but the trial goes well.
Okay.
I guess it could be next chapter.
It could really be next chapter.
Could be next chapter. Cath, I think Cath, these are some fire ones.
These are some
Let me tell
fuego
you,
ones. Yeah.
these are good. A character goes into law to follow their parents' footsteps, but isn't passionate about being a lawyer.
Oh no.
I wonder if that could be Bo. I mean, it's not really like his parent, but it is his relative. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm just saying Bo could be like a good reason for that. Okay.
That's tea.
MC is rivals with someone for no real reason other than drama.
Not yet.
I think Quinn being rivals with Martin he's just being a prick.
Yes.
But
yes.
I don't even think they're really rivals. Like, I don't consider them rivals. I just think he's being fucking annoying.
Right.
I feel like the one that's gonna end up being a rival is gonna be Gigi. I'm so suspicious about this bitch. Like, I just do not trust her.
You said her contact in my phone got a snake emoji.
Exactly. MC will have only one long-term client throughout the book.
I hope not. I hope this is not the whole trial we have to deal with. This case.
TBD. MC hooks up with an ally at work. Now let me tell you something.
Oh, if we fucking his office that
Ooh!
shows the skyline
Ooh!
and his new senior partner office.
Ooh!
Ooh.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I would like to fucking Game's office.
Yeah,
but
no. Yeah.
I hope we mark that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I am praying that even if we first of all, can we talk about why does this building have a restaurant on the rooftop as well?
Every office we go to has a fucking restaurant at the top, bro. I can't explain it. Listen to our Bloodbound episode, you'll know.
Right.
Every single time we go to a restaurant, there's always a character who's like, "Follow me to the outside." Like, these bitches do not like to do indoor dining.
I know.
It might as well be during the pandemic in these books, because these bitches are like, "Let's go outside."
And while we're on the topic, just quickly, it was kind of weird to like go to the coffee shop. I feel like that just added to his character of him being like sincere, of like knowing the person who plays the flute. Hi Jack, how are you? Knowing Olivia, the bartender.
Yeah, they're like, "Look, he's so personable."
Yes, but for us to go right back up in the same building we just left and then go to the rooftop, I was like, sir, we could have just took the elevator to the top and just called it a day. I'm pretty sure they got coffee.
Right. I don't know. And he was like, "This is the best kept secret is that their office coffee isn't the best." I said, did we have to take a walk across Times Square to get the coffee?" Oh, okay. So the next one is that MC has no life outside of work. I mean, TBD. We still have not seen her apartment since we picked it out on Zillow. So
Right.
I don't know.
Is it weird that Aislinn already knows where we live at?
I'm trying to think if I think it's weird. I'm gonna say no, because I feel like Aislinn didn't really care to help us in that moment, so I feel like she probably cleared her fucking browser history as soon as she was finished with that. Okay, so the next one is the complete opposite. MC has a suspicious amount of free time despite being a lawyer.
Oh.
I wouldn't say we have enough evidence to mark that one
Yeah,
yet.
not yet, yeah.
Okay. MC will receive gifts from a client. No.
Oh god, no.
A character will get very cutthroat about the competition.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold off.
Me too. My money's either on Gigi or Martin.
Right, exactly. I think it's gonna be. I'm so sorry, Gigi. I'm so sorry. I'm throwing dirt on your name and I don't even know you. I was so sorry, Gigi.
She coming for your neck.
I have a weird feeling about you, bitch. I have a weird feeling. A character will have a sob story about working pro bono.
I mean, not yet, but I feel like Gabe, he gonna share some stories.
You want to hold off? Because I feel like I would mark this today based off of Gabe.
Oh, based off of what he said? Yeah, I can agree with that then. Yeah, absolutely.
I would mark it today.
That is all he talked about.
Yeah, by the way, we're getting into the ones that I made, so Cath's gonna be like, "What are these?" There is one lawyer who sticks to their moral code.
Okay.
There is one lawyer who does something unethical to win the competition.
Ooh,
TBD.
Martin.
GG. And then MC will be presented with an option to be cutthroat about the competition. I'm trying to decide. I mean, I guess because we could have not given Aislinn the credit.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so that's bingo. We have 4. I do think we have a really good chance of getting bingo on this one.
Yes, yes, yes,
I feel way more confident about this bingo than I usually do.
yes. Same.
Kath, honey,
Good job, boo.
these are some fire fucking prompts. These are some fire fucking prompts. So thank you, Kath, again for providing us with the content for this bingo. We really do appreciate it. There's no fucking way that I could have created a good bingo because I literally know nothing about law or what working as a lawyer is. So thank you so much for pulling on your family's experience to help us. And thank you so much for listening because that's the end of our episode. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. If you want to engage with us, we are on IG, Tumblr, and Twitter. It's a fun time. I would highly encourage y'all to join. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.